To begin making your placemat carrot, you're going to take a round placemat and you're then going to cut it in half. And after you've cut it in half, you're going to take one of the halves and cut that in half, so you will have 4 pieces. Take your glue gun and run it up and down and side to side to give the placemat a little stability because it loses its integrity once it's cut. You're then going to take a little dab of your glue and place it on the tip of what is to become your carrot. You're just going to try to just work it together very, very gently. I like to use a wooden spoon, and you'll later see that I use the end of a paintbrush because it is so easy to burn yourself when you're working with a glue gun. So after you manipulate the point of the carrot, you're then going to just add some glue to the side and you're just going to roll it into itself to make a little cone shape. So I just used my spoon to just make sure all the little edges will fold down, and once you have the cone shape, you're just going to add some batting into it, and you can use anything that you have around the house. I cut a 5-inch piece of cardstock to use as my guide. Using the green burlap ribbon, I measured 5 inches and I made 5 loops of the ribbon to make the top of my carrot. I then secured the bottom with a pipe cleaner. It doesn't matter what color. I just twisted it really tight to secure the loops together. Then use your glue gun to run a bead of hot glue around the inside of your carrot and then place your little bow topping inside. I like to fluff it out first just to get an idea of where I'm going to place it inside, but it doesn't really matter. You can fluff it once you have it in. Now after you have it inside, you're going to squeeze, 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 and once it's squeezed together, you're then going to take some twine. I decided to use the green. It comes in a 3-pack from the Dollar Tree. I cut about 24 inches, and this is going to be my little bow. So I just tied it around the top of the carrot, and I made a little knot and I tied it really, really tight. This helps secure the ribbon in as well as the glue. And I made a little bow, and there you have it. And once you have it all together, you can play with the bow and fluff up the ribbons to make it look like a little carrot. Another variation of the carrot topper is to use some of the green mesh. I basically followed the same instructions as above, made my 5 loops, secured it with a pipe cleaner, twisted it really tightly together, followed the same rules, placed the glue on the center, placed in my green mesh bow, squeezed it really tightly. I once again used the same green twine and about 24 inches, and then I just wrapped it around the top, pulled it really tightly, made a knot, and then made my bow. And I think it's pretty cute. 2 different variations. You can basically use anything you want for a topper on these little placemat carrots. To make Easter carrots, we just use one of the Easter egg towels that is 15 by 25. Now I took a piece of cardstock and I cut it out to 8 inches by 7.5 inches. I placed the 8 inches on the top and the 7.5 inches on the side, and as you can see, once you fold the towel, you will get 6 squares out of the towel, and you can then make 6 of the Easter egg carrots. Now I marked mine just to show you how I cut it. You can do it any easy way you want, and you don't even have to be that fussy because you're going to end up hiding all the irregular edges. Now cut the towel in half, and it doesn't matter which side you use because you're going to have an excess either way. Put a tiny dot of glue about 1/2 inch up from the corner, and then press it over. I used my wooden spoon to protect my hands, and then just let it cool. Fold the sides in like you're making a paper airplane. So you're going to fold each side into itself until you have a little point at the end of the fabric. Then you're going to roll them under each other to give a nice finished edge. Now I'm just securing it a little bit at the bottom so that it will have a tight point, and when we stuff it, the fabric won't come out. So you just work it down so that you have a point, and once you find your point, you then fold the fabric up onto each other. I used my glue gun to just run a bead of hot glue and then pressed both of the fabric corners together to make a nice finished edge. And once the edges are cool, you have a little ice cream cone. And then just take some polyfill and stuff it, but not too full. I use my wooden spoon to make sure that the polyfill gets right down to the tip and fills it out. I then take the top edges and I bend them over into each other, and now it's time to make the top of the carrot. I use 2.5 inch sparkly Easter ribbon, and I make 5 5-inch loops for the top of the carrot. I just loop one piece of ribbon to the next piece of ribbon to the next piece of ribbon, having them all about 5 inches long. And this is wired ribbon, so I can just kind of squeeze it at the bottom and then once again secure it with a pipe cleaner and just twist it so that none of the loops separate from each other. With the edges tucked in, I put a little bit of hot glue in the center and take my little bunch of ribbons and slide them inside, and then just give it a good squish so the hot glue holds the ribbons in place. And then I'll use a 1/8 inch sparkly ribbon that also comes from the Dollar Tree. I think I used about, 24 inches, 24 inches of ribbon, and I just wrapped it around the top of the carrot and just tied a little knot to hold the ribbon in place. I didn't put a bow on this one, but if you want a bow, you could definitely tie a bow. And so a little bit of the top of the eggs peek out, but I liked it. This was the style that I was going for, and it came out really cute. I cut the thin sparkly ribbons a little shorter than the actual carrot, and then I just fluffed out the wired ribbon on the top to give the top of the carrot a nice finished look. And now we're going to make a dishcloth carrot. I got a 3-pack of these at Walgreens for $1, so it was a pretty good deal. These are a square, so you just fold them in half, and I used my ruler to pretty much cut them at an angle. I wanted to make a triangle, so I kept the finished edge, the folded edge, on one side, and then I cut away the open edge of it on the other. So now I have a triangular piece of towel. Once again, I put a little dab of glue at the tip of it, folded it over about 1/2 inch. As you can see, I used my paintbrush and my wooden spoon because I didn't want to get burned. And this time what I'm going to do, instead of folding the edges in, I'm going to show you how you can do it a little easier. I just ran a bead of glue along one edge and I folded the fabric over to knead it. I'd recommend letting the glue set up for a minute or two, and then all you need to do is turn the towel inside out. I used my wooden spoon to get the point of the carrot, and once you do that, you're ready to stuff it. I also made one of the blue towels, so I'm going to show you how to put the topper on that one. I used one bunch out of the 3-pack. I basically just stretched it out and then I folded it into thirds to just make a nice little bunch of raffia. I then used one of my pipe cleaners or chenille stems, whatever you prefer, and I twisted it up to secure the whole little bunch together. I opened up the end, I didn't fold it over, I opened up the end and I just put some glue in it and I stuffed in the little bunch of raffia. Now once again, I squeezed it really tight, and be careful because the glue can come out of the fabric. I used a piece of jute. I think this one probably was about 18 inches, and I just twisted it around 2 times, tied it securely, and made a little bow. And I thought it came out pretty cute for a nice little country carrot. I did take my scissors and cut the loops from when I originally made the little bunch on the top so that it was just a bunch of free floating little raffia. I thought it came out pretty sweet. And the last carrots in this little carrot bunch video is going to be the microfiber washcloths. There's 4 in a package, and basically I just folded them in half, and once again I just cut them at an angle, making sure that I kept the angle that was folded. As you can see, it's not a perfect edge and it doesn't need to be, and I followed the same instructions as last time. I just folded up about a 1/2 inch, and then I began to fold my edges over, kind of like I was making a paper airplane, and once again just ran down a bead of hot glue and folded the edges together. Now if you'd like, you can make this like a farmhouse carrot and make it white and just put some raffia on the top or some jute or twine. I'm going to stuff it and make it into a country carrot. So I just stuffed it again and used my trusty wooden spoon to make sure the very tip of it is stuffed with the stuffing. I had this orange paint that I got at Michael's for 79 cents, and I just kind of haphazardly just ran some paint down the edges of the carrot to turn them orange. I did completely paint the carrot, and I grabbed some of my green twine and I literally wrapped it around my 5-inch cardboard about 30 times to make the topper. Then after cutting it in half, I just tied a little knot around the bunch and folded it into itself, so I had a nice little green topper for my carrot. And then I just put some hot glue in and stuck in the little topper, once again squeezing it together really tightly. And I used about 24 inches of the green twine that I had made the topper out of and made a bow around the carrot. I also made some of the orange carrots with the top completely tucked in that you will see in the pictures. You can basically mix and match any of the toppers with any of the carrots that we made. I hope you had as much fun watching this tutorial as I had making it for you. Please click the subscribe button below, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye everybody!